Welcome to Relaxing History. Leave all the noise and the rush of the day outside the door. Now, take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders and let your mind float through the dusty but fascinating pages of history. Tonight, we embark on a peaceful journey among the shadows of the past. If you are ready, let's unlock time.
Chapter 1 of 3, The Camp at the Edge of the World. This night, we are leaving the cities behind completely. We are leaving the paved roads, the brick houses, and the noise of industry. We are traveling to the edge of the continent, to a place where the land dissolves into the sea. We are going to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, to a place called Kitty Hawk. The year is 1903. It is late autumn. The air is cool and fresh. It is the kind of air that wakes up your lungs. Clean, salty, wild. We are standing on a long strip of sand. To the east is the endless Atlantic Ocean. To the west is the calm Albemarle Sound. And in between, just sand dunes. Hills of gold and gray sand shifting slowly in the wind. This place feels like the end of the world. There are no towns here, no street lamps, no neighbors for miles, just the seagulls, the crabs, and the wind. The wind is the ruler of this place. Listen to it. Ooh. Oh, it is constant. It flows over the dunes like a river of air. It brushes through the tall sea oats, the long grasses that grow on the hills. Rustle, hiss, rustle. It is a soothing sound, a continuous white noise that clears the mind. In the middle of this vast emptiness, there are two small wooden buildings, two shacks, built by hand. They look tiny against the giant sky. They are gray, weathered by the sun and the salt spray. These are the homes of the dreamers, the Wright Brothers. Let us walk towards the main shed. Our feet sink into the soft sand. Crunch, crunch. It is hard to walk here. The sand is deep and loose. Every step takes effort, but it is also soft, like walking on a heavy carpet. We reach the wooden door of the shed. The wind pushes against our backs, urging us inside. We open the door, creak, and we step out of the wind into the stillness. The interior is simple, minimal. It smells of raw pine wood. It smells of sawdust, and it smells of canvas. This is not a luxury hotel. It is a workshop and a home. In the center of the room, hanging from the rafters, is a giant shape. It looks like a huge white bird sleeping in the dark. The flyer. It is made of wood and fabric. It is beautiful in its simplicity. Its wings stretch almost from wall to wall. Sitting at a small table near the wall are two men, Orville and Wilbur. They are brothers in every sense. They wear simple suits, white shirts, starched collars. Even out here in the wild, they are dignified men, quiet men. A kerosene lamp sits on the table between them. The flame is steady inside its glass chimney. It casts a warm, yellow circle of light. The rest of the shed is in shadow. Orville is reading a book. He turns the page quietly. Flip. Wilbur is writing in a small notebook, a diary. He writes about the wind speed. He writes about the angle of the wings. He writes with the precision of a scientist. There is no talking. They do not need to speak. They know each other's thoughts. They have lived together, worked together, and dreamed together for their whole lives. The silence between them is comfortable. It is a silence of understanding. Outside, the wind gusts. It rattles the wooden walls of the shed gently. Rattle, tap. The sand blows against the exterior. It sounds like rain. Shh, shh. But inside, the lamp burns on. The brothers are drinking tea. There are 2 tin cups on the table. Steam rises from them, curling up into the rafters, mixing with the shadows of the glider wings. The tea is hot. It warms their hands. They are waiting for the perfect conditions, waiting for history. But tonight, there is no rush. Tonight is just for resting. Orville looks up from his book. He looks at the canvas wing above his head. He traces the curve of the wooden rib with his eyes. It is a gentle curve, modeled after the wing of a bird. He marvels at it. Wood and cloth, simple materials from the earth, destined to touch the sky. The atmosphere in the shed is peaceful. It feels like a monastery, a place of devotion. But their religion is the sky. Wilbur puts his pen down. He rubs his eyes. He takes a sip of tea, slurp. He looks at his brother and nods. A silent signal. The day is done. They are miles from civilization. If they looked out the window, they would see only the black ocean and the millions of stars above. The Milky Way is so bright here. It looks like a cloud, but they are content in their small wooden box, safe from the elements. The wind sings a lullaby through the cracks in the walls. Hum. It is the song of the Outer Banks, ancient and endless. Chapter 2 of 3, The Anatomy of a Dream. Wilbur stands up from the small wooden table. The floorboards groan softly under his boots. Creak. He picks up the kerosene lamp. The flame tilts slightly, then straightens again. He cups his hand around the glass chimney to protect the light from the drafts. He walks away from the comfort of the tea and the notebooks. He walks towards the center of the shed, towards the giant shadow that dominates the room. The machine, the flyer. In the dim light, it looks like a creature from another world. Yet, it is made of the most earthly materials. Orville joins him. They stand together in silence, admiring the work of their own hands. They have spent months, years, building this. Let us look closely at the machine. It is a masterpiece of craftsmanship. It is built like a fine watch, but on the scale of a dragon. Wilbur raises the lamp. The light washes over the lower wing. He reaches out a hand. His fingers are rough, stained with bicycle grease and oil, but his touch is gentle. He runs his fingertips along the leading edge of the wing. The wood is spruce, imported from the West. They chose it because it is light, but incredibly strong. It feels smooth to the touch, sanded down for hours until it was like satin. There are no splinters here, is less than #0. 5# is greater than no rough patches. Only perfection. He taps the fabric covering the wing. Thump, thump. It makes a low, hollow sound, like a drum. This is not fancy silk. It is simple muslin, pride of the West, muslin. The same fabric used for ladies' undergarments. They bought it in a store in Dayton. They sewed it themselves on a sewing machine. Now, it is stretched tight over the wooden ribs. It is painted with varnish to make it airtight. The smell of the varnish is still faint in the air. It is a sharp, clean chemical smell. It mixes with the smell of the salt air coming through the walls. It creates a unique perfume, the scent of invention. Orville moves to the back of the machine, to the propellers. These are not simple paddles. They are sculptures, 2 of them, carved by hand from layers of spruce timber. Orville places his hand on the blade of the right propeller. It is painted silver. It feels cool. He pushes it gently, just a fraction of an inch. Click, click. The chain engages. These are bicycle chains. The brothers are bicycle mechanics, and they have brought their knowledge to the sky. The chains are heavy steel. They run from the engine to the propellers through long metal tubes. They are coated in thick oil. The oil glistens in the lamplight, black and viscous. Orville listens. He turns the propeller a full rotation. Clack, 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 clack. It is a mechanical rhythm, precise, even. There is no grinding, no friction, just the sound of metal moving on metal. It is the sound of the bicycle shop back home in Ohio. A familiar, comforting sound in this strange, sandy wilderness. Wilbur moves to the center, to the heart of the beast, the engine. It sits on the lower wing, next to where the pilot will lie. It is a block of aluminum, cast in their own shop. It is cold to the touch, silent now, a sleeping iron heart. Wilbur takes a rag from his pocket. It is an old, oily rag. He wipes a speck of dust from the engine casing. Rub, rub. He treats the metal with reverence. He checks the rubber tubes. He checks the electrical wires. Every connection must be perfect. There are wires everywhere on the machine. Piano wires. They crisscross between the wings. They hold the structure together. They provide the tension. Wilbur flicks one of the wires with his fingernail. Pinum. It sings, a high, clear, musical note. It vibrates in the quiet room. He nods. The tension is correct. The machine is tuned like a giant harp, ready to play the song of flight. The brothers move around the machine in a slow dance. They do not hurry. They check the elevator at the front, the wooden frame that will make the nose go up or down. They check the rudder at the back, the vertical tail. They crouch down in the sand floor to look at the skids. The flyer does not have wheels. It has wooden runners, like a sled. These runners will slide along the wooden rail they have laid outside in the sand. Orville runs his hand along the smooth wood of the skid. He imagines the moment of takeoff, the slide, the speed, and then the lift, the moment the wood leaves the earth. But tonight, the machine is heavy. It sits firmly on the ground, anchored by gravity. The wind outside howls louder for a moment. Oh! It shakes the roof shingles. Sand blows against the window pane with a hissing sound. The contrast is profound. Outside is the chaotic, untamed power of nature. Inside is the ordered, logical power of the human mind. The lamp flickers again. The shadows of the propeller blades stretch long across the floor. They look like the hands of a giant clock, measuring a time that has not yet come. Wilbur straightens up. He puts his hand on his lower back. He stretches. He looks at Orville across the wing. The light catches Orville's eyes. They are calm. There is no fear there, only patience. They have checked everything. Twice, 3 times, every screw, every nut, every stitch in the fabric. The machine is ready. It is waiting for the morning. It is waiting for the wind. Wilbur lowers the lamp. The circle of light shrinks. The wings fade back into the darkness. The white muslin glows softly, ghostly in the gloom. They walk back towards the front of the shed, leaving the machine to sleep. Their boots sink into the sand floor. Soft crunch, soft crunch. They pass the workbenches, covered in tools, hammers, wrenches, saws, files. The tools are laid out in neat rows, metal glinting in the dark. These tools built the dream. They reach the small living area again. The tea in their cups is cold now, but the room still feels warm. It is warmed by the presence of the 2 brothers, by their shared purpose. Wilbur sets the lamp down on the table. Clink. The glass chimney rattles slightly. He sits down. He watches the flame again. He thinks about the birds they watched earlier that day. The hawks, the gannets, how they hold themselves steady in the air. No flapping, just balance. He holds his hand out flat in the air. He tilts it left. He tilts it right, feeling the imaginary wind. He closes his eyes and visualizes the flight. The shed is quiet. The only sound is the rhythmic tick-tock of a small clock on the shelf, and the eternal ocean outside. It is a sanctuary of silence, a temple of wood and canvas, resting on the edge of the world. Chapter 3 of 3, The Canvas Bunks and the Atlantic Wind. The brothers sit at the table for a moment longer. The tea is finished. The cups are empty. Wilbur closes his notebook. Snap. The sound is soft but final. He places the pen beside it. He aligns the pen perfectly parallel with the book. Even in rest, there is order. Orville closes his book. He rubs the back of his neck. He yawns. It is a long, slow yawn, the kind that brings tears to the eyes. The fatigue of the day is finally catching up with them. The physical labor of dragging the machine. The mental labor of calculation. It all settles in their muscles now. Wilbur stands up. He takes the kerosene lamp in his hand. Time, he says softly. Orville nods. They do not go to a separate bedroom. There are no rooms here to save space for the giant flying machine. They have built their beds in the air, up in the rafters of the shed, like a loft. They walk to the wooden ladder nailed to the wall. Wilbur goes first. He climbs slowly, one rung at a time. The wood of the ladder is smooth from use. Creak, creak, creak. His shadow climbs the wall with him, a giant silhouette rising towards the ceiling. Orville follows him, up into the shadows, up into the warmest part of the shed. Heat rises is less than #0. 5# is greater than, and up here, trapped under the wooden roof shingles, the air is slightly warmer than down below. The sleeping quarters are simple. They are ingenious. They did not bring heavy mattresses across the dunes. Instead, they built beds like hammocks, layers of burlap, and old carpet, stretched tight across the wooden beams of the roof. Wilbur reaches the platform. He sets the lamp down on a small wooden shelf nailed to the rafters. The light illuminates their sleeping nests. They look like cocoons. They begin to prepare for sleep. The wind outside is picking up. It is a December wind. It carries the bite of the North Atlantic. You can hear it whistling through the cracks in the roof tiles. Wee! It is a lonely sound, but inside, they are prepared. They take off their suit jackets. They hang them on nails driven into the beams. The jackets sway gently in the drafts. They take off their starched collars. They take off their boots. Thud, thud. They place them carefully on the platform. The brothers put on thick wool sweaters to sleep in. It is cold tonight. They need the layers. The wool is scratchy but incredibly warm. It smells of sheep and lanolin. Wilbur climbs into his bunk first. The burlap stretches under his weight. Crinkle, creak. It is surprisingly comfortable. It conforms to his body. He pulls up the blankets. Heavy, gray army blankets, and a thick quilt brought from home in Dayton. He pulls the covers up to his chin. He tucks them in tight around his shoulders, creating a seal against the cold air. He sighs. A cloud of white breath escapes his lips and drifts into the lamplight. Orville climbs into his bunk. It is just a few feet away. He settles in. He adjusts his pillow. It is a simple pillow, filled with feathers. He pulls his own blankets up. He wiggles his toes against the cold fabric until they find warmth. Now, only the lamp remains. It burns steadily on the shelf, casting long, dancing shadows across the underside of the roof. The smell of the kerosene is strong up here, but it is a familiar smell, the smell of light. Wilbur reaches out a hand from under his blankets. His arm looks pale in the yellow light. He finds the small metal wheel on the side of the burner. He turns it. The flame shrinks. It turns from yellow to orange to blue, and then darkness. The shed is plunged into absolute black. There are no streetlights outside to give a glow. There is only the dark wood and the night. But as the light fades, the sound takes over. The sound of the ocean, the Atlantic. It is huge, is less than #0. 5# is greater than. It is rhythmic. Listen to it. Row-wa. As the wave builds up, crash. As it hits the beach, hiss. As the water rushes up the sand, it is a heartbeat, the heartbeat of the earth. It never stops. It never slows down. It is mesmerizing. Lying in the dark, the brothers listen to the roar. It drowns out everything else. It drowns out the wind. It drowns out their thoughts. It is a wall of white noise, thick and heavy. Wilbur closes his eyes. He visualizes the waves rolling in, one after another. Endless energy. He feels the vibration of the surf in the wood of the shed. The whole building trembles slightly with the force of the sea. Thrum. It feels like they are on a ship, a wooden ship sailing through a sea of sand and wind. The burlap bunk holds him gently. He feels suspended in the air, floating, just like the machine downstairs wants to float. He pulls the quilt tighter. His body heat is trapped inside the blankets. He starts to feel toasty, warm. His feet are warm. His hands are warm. The cold air on his face feels refreshing in contrast. He hears Orville's breathing change. It becomes deeper, slower, in, out. Orville is already drifting away. Wilbur lets his mind wander. He does not think about the engine. He does not think about the rudder. He thinks about the seagulls they saw today, gliding over the dunes, effortless, silent, peace. The wind gusts again. The roof creaks above his head, growing, but it holds. They built it strong. They built it together. He is safe here, in this tiny wooden box on the edge of the continent, with his brother, with his dream, with the ocean. The roar of the waves becomes a lullaby, rising and falling, rising and falling. His thoughts dissolve into the sound. He is no longer a mechanic. He is no longer an inventor. He is just a part of the wind, drifting, floating, sleeping.